All right, it's New Age Jah here with you, and welcome back. The moon is 29 degrees Gemini, so it's just about in Cancer, and we have this harmonious flow between the moon and Piscean energy. But there's some reluctance in this transition from going from static cling to watery overflow. Jupiter is conjunct Neptune, and we are realizing that authenticity is the only way to go. See, we've reached the part in our journeys. Mercury is at 22 degrees Aries, the Sun is in the Aries, Chiron's in Aries, then we have Jupiter and Neptune at 22 degrees in Pisces, and then we have Venus at 1 degree in Pisces. And so we're realizing that we can no longer lie to ourselves. There is so much freedom in the ability to authentically express yourself by just naturally being who you are. When you get up and you get in front of the mirror, or when you get in front of the camera, who are you putting on a show for? And does it feel good? Are you rehearsing these parts and aspects of yourself that are meant to woo the crowds before you? Or are you so enamored with your process that you find that you just keep lying to yourself? And so this is a time where we have an opportunity to free ourselves from any egoic structure that is meant to put on a play. And I actually place a lot of value on ego, but it's a matter of how it is that we're using the ego. You understand? Are we authentically tapping into ego, or are we curating an ego? And over time, the ego can become saturated with so many wounds and memories and expectations, and then next thing you know, we're behaving and acting and trying to be something and trying to produce something that isn't natural to our being whatsoever. So it feels so good to be in a place of authenticity, and this is where the freedom begins to flow. You cannot teach or lead others to a place where you have not been yourself. Yeah, there's this thing called fake it until you make it, but that faking it is going to actually turn around and bite you in the ass, as to where before you were able to ignore the consequences of being everything but yourself. You can no longer hide yourself from yourself. So this is an energy that is truly reflective of who you are and who you've become, where the curtain falls down on your own egoic structure that you've created to create a persona of likeliness, of likelihood, of community and communion. You can no longer go by lying to yourself, because it won't feel good at the end of the day. So as the moon traverses Cancer, our feeling body is fully awakening, and we can't run away from the truth of our own very being. And there's very little places to hide with so much activation in Pisces. It's like we can hide under the covers, we can try to sleep it away, but the truth is we need to sweep it away. Let all of the false personas fall away. Allow yourself to come through naturally as you really are. So let's pull some cards to support this energy. Thank you, Heavenly Divine Father and Spirit, for allowing me to serve you. You know I love and honor you despite the many changes in belief structures, despite the many temptations in the environment. As one climbs up the ascension ladder, there are plenty of invitations that meet you along the way, but not every invitation is meant to be accepted. You must know yourself. And so this is a great part of the journey of actualizing or actually getting to know yourself, because we've been fooling ourselves for far too long. And it's time that we uncover our own hidden motives, right? The Five of Pentacles. And this can make us feel less than and or left out. The Five of Pentacles has two individuals, but one is cloaked in blue and the other is cloaked in orange. And this is representative of the symbiosis between the sacral and the throat chakra. The sacral chakra is your water chakra, your emotional chakra, and it is responsible for creation. Now, the throat chakra and the sacral chakra work in tandem. So whatever creation and manifestation that is brewing and bubbling in your sacral is able to find expression in your throat. So this is true, authentic expression. But when we aren't able to connect the sacral and the throat chakra effectively, this is where the facade begins to crumble down and we feel less than, left out, as if we're not able to fit in. And this is because your garments of past are no longer to be worn. They are tattered and they need to be thrown away. Let's move on. Let's tap into this revealing energy, if we would. It's not about poor me, poor you, boo-hoo, like, don't you see what I'm going through? Don't you see my weaknesses? I need this more than you do. It's not about who's suffering more in this case. The Page of Swords. We had the Page of Swords yesterday and the King of Cups. It's not about who's suffering more in this case, who has more of a reason or a purpose or purposing, who has more of a reason to behave in the way that they need to in order to scuttle and grab upon what they feel belongs to them, coming from feelings of lack. This is also trying your best to hold on to something that is desperately being taken away or released from your grip. The Page of Swords is a young energy who has a tendency to say things abruptly from a place or lack of understanding with the Five of Pentacles. But this is where the emotional maturity comes in with the King of Cups, where we are discerning or understanding this mental mind, this logical mind, this immature mindset that is actually trying to feed us from a place of emptiness. Okay? The Page of Swords is an air energy which correlates to the throat chakra, which is of speaking. It is of the ethers. So this is, to me, is an infantile throat chakra, or a disconnection between the true authentic creation happening in your sacral and then what is being divulged in your throat chakra. It's very easy to reciprocate or to regurgitate information that one has just kind of picked up along the way. But it's a lot more difficult to allow the true creation to bubble from within and then allow that to find its way up and out. The King of Cups. The King of Cups is someone who stands on moral, emotional grounds. And this is someone that we can trust and who is emotionally mature. So we are going from the Gemini Moon, Page of Swords, and working through our insecurities and allowing the backdrop to fall so that we can come into the King of Cups energy, which is emotional maturity and authenticity. I am okay, thank you. And with that being said, I have to go tend to my Page of Swords, and I'll talk to you soon. Later.